Patrick Reusse, I have a very simple question for you. How do
Yes,
you lose 2 of 3 to the dreadful, god awful Colorado Rockies?
I don't know, but I wasn't surprised, really. I mean, I can't believe Colorado can possibly be that bad, but it's usually their terrible pitching. Now, the first night, Freeland's pitching against Paddock. I'd rather have Freeland. He's been a pretty good pitcher in the past, so and he's lefty, so I'd rather have him. So that one didn't surprise me. Then the next night, yeah, you got to win that game, but then it would have been horribly embarrassing if they'd gotten swept. That would have been, that would have been terrible. But now they go play the Dodgers, and the Dodgers just got swept, did they not, by the mighty Brewers, who have won 10 in a row. How about a
Yes.
baseball league right now
Yep.
that had Boston win 10 in a row going into the break? And now you got Milwaukee with 10 in a row and Toronto with 10 in a row. What is going on here? Double digit victory streaks, win streaks don't occur that often. And they're coming left and right here. The Brewers are one of the most amazing stories. They got the cheap Brewers, they got $108 million payroll that, according to the official Sport Track, which puts everything in there, they got 112. We got 144. The poll ads are spending too much money. I think it could be the case here, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I saw Keishel got a couple of hits yesterday. Are we about ready to move him up and say goodbye to Ty France? Maybe play Keishel at first base,
That's
something
an
like that.
interesting, yeah.
You
That's
know,
certainly a possibility because Ty France has not done anything.
no, lately he's, if it wasn't for getting hit by pitches, he'd be down to about 200 on base percentage. But yeah, he was. I mean, there's a reason that they were able to sign him for $1 million, and they got a month or 6 weeks out of him when he was driving in some runs and stuff. But I don't know. Can you explain to me? Now, Colorado had Star Wars night. Now, everybody, are we still having Star Wars nights? What is the
They
deal?
must get paid. There must be a agreement with the league on this, right? Because
Yeah,
I think everyone does it, so it must be some type of thing where it's lucrative to the league to do it.
they had 47,000 for Star Wars night. What do you give them, a sword or something? Do they give them? You don't want to give drunk youth swords out in the outfield,
I
do
don't
you?
think it's a sword, but they drew pretty well for that entire series. They're drawing
No,
some.
I know it's almost and they celebrate tremendously when they win a game. Now they got. I mean, it's like a walk off win when they win any game at all. For what, second time all year they won the first game of a home series? Wasn't that it?
First time,
Second time.
first time all year they've won a home series.
Yes, yes. And the first time, and only the second time they won game one. Oh, it was, I didn't realize that they hadn't won one, 2 out of 3. I knew they'd
No,
only won one first game. First time they won a home series. Unbelievable.
Provis said it Saturday after the final out. He said, for the first time all year, the Colorado Rockies have clinched a home series.
That is bad. You know, uh, who's I listened on the radio some this weekend. Who's really good on the radio, and he got his start right here at Score North. Perky,
Yes, he's
Perky's
fantastic.
Perky, Perky controls Atterbury. Perfect. Perky is better with Atterbury than the other guys are. I mean, well, Gladdy's okay. I mean, I think Gladdy's gotten peaceful with it, don't you? I mean, when I listen to him now,
Perky's
once in
Perky's
a while he
great.
gets agitated, but Perky can handle him. So
I want them if it's necessary, to teach Perk how to do play by play on radio because I
hmm
love him. I think he's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, and then you could put Gladdy over with TB. Gladdy and Probus works good too. So we got enough TB. I can't say I gotta say Floofy's good on podcasts. He's too positive on games. I don't. When things are going bad, he ought to rip them more, don't you think? But then again, they're trying to. I think Probus has changed too. They're trying to sell
Yeah,
Twins
yes, they
TV.
are. No question
This
about it.
this is a
No question.
this
You're
is
right.
a bad situation to be in.
Yes.
You gotta sugarcoat everything. But we,
Yes.
we we have not even had a hint as to how many of those things they've sold either. Nobody's come up with any information on it.
I've
So
tried and been stonewalled completely.
mhm. Yes, so it's yeah. I mean, it's they're not talking about it. That's for sure. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Otani's pitching tonight, right?
Yep.
What, he's supposed to go three or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I think he's going 3 now.
So what is their master plan with him? Is it to be a starter by the end of the season, or what? By the time they get to the playoffs or something, because they have all those pitcher injuries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I have no idea.
I don't think though. After yesterday, after seeing him lately, I don't think they can trade Joe Ryan. I don't think they can do it. I'd trade some relievers, but I don't think I'd give him a contract. Wouldn't you? I'd give
Yes.
him. I mean, I'd give him 5 years at 4 years at good money and hope. With pitchers, you always got to hope, but he doesn't really have a. He missed last year. What, he missed 2 months last year, but
Yeah.
he hasn't really missed that much time. And that injury he had last year is not like a chronic thing. So
You think Duran or Jax goes?
yeah, yeah, or both.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jax is 30, and I think Jax might actually get you more than Duran, because now Duran's a little younger, but he's had some arm problems, and I think Jax has got the durability. The thing is, he's 30 though, right?
Yeah. He's 30.
30. Yeah, that's
Yep. He's not a
so
kid.
he didn't. By the time he got done with college and the Air Force and everything, he was 25 years old before they ended up with him. But
Mm-hmm.
he's really good. But yeah, he'll. I keep saying I got a couple of messages that I'm not a Jax guy. I don't like Jax guy. So you might not like Jax. They put him on the market. There'll be 20 teams trying to get him. He'd be a hot ticket, man. The
Mm-hmm.
10 or 12 or 14 teams that are in contention, he'd be a hot ticket. By the way, we were bad mouthing the Central, and now Cleveland's winning. Did Detroit end up winning that
They
game? I didn't
won. They
watch.
broke their 6-game skid yesterday against the Rangers.
And Scooble gave up a run, though. I saw him actually give up a run. That was when I turned it on. He'd had 6 scoreless, but then they got a run off him. I think tie the game. But they 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 had a 6-game losing streak and really didn't affect them much, did it?
No.
But then now Cleveland started to win some games, and Kansas City's has won some games. So it's it's not the mighty Central, but it wasn't quite as bad as a couple weeks ago when they were 1-16 or something like that. So
No. I mean, but
everybody,
yeah, Detroit dropped 6 consecutive games, and I don't know. They might have lost a game in the standing. It's incredible.
yeah,
They're still like
yeah,
11
it is.
up.
It is, yeah. It is incredible. But there's some great things happening in baseball, though. The Dodgers getting swept, by the Brewers and the Yankees. Now they've won a couple in a row, but the Blue Jays have running away from them. And the Blue Jays, the Blue Jay fans weren't all that happy, and then they signed Vlad, so then they were okay. But Jose's having a good year for him too. Jose's, you
Yeah.
know, he's 8-4, but his ERA is good, and he's been giving them. They pretty much just have made him a 6 inning pitcher now, just like the other starters, 6 or 7. But he's having a good year for him, Barrios.
The Blue Jays and Brewers in May both looked like they might be dead,
Yes,
and now they're doing great. The
yeah, the
Twins did
Brewers.
too. The only problem is the Twins then went in
Yeah,
June
yeah.
right in the crapper.
Pat Murphy could be a back-to-back American League Manager of the Year if the Brewers are, because they've downsized their payroll since last year. I think they cut back a little from what they were paying last year because they got rid of Devin Williams, so they didn't
Yeah,
have
that's
to
right.
pay him. They didn't have to pay him. And what's the deal? Yelich wants the DH. Is that it? Did I read that he's
I
DHing
didn't see
because he
that, but
wants to be the DH? I thought he was a
entirely
pretty good
possible.
outfielder. I don't know.
But Pat is an
Anyway,
old school. He's an old school guy
oh
though.
God, he's a
He's
trustworthy.
gruff, loves the f
I
bombs.
I
That's the
think
guy
he
I want managing my team.
I think the ups hate him too, but they're afraid to throw him out of the game because of what he might do. But you see him over there on the sideline, he's ragging him constantly all the time. Somebody was telling me he's a really interesting cat. He's had like three wives. He got fired at Arizona State because of some dang thing that he was, something they thought was unscrupulous. But he's definitely, to see him then come and manage a young team is pretty fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, he's great. He's
So are
great.
you fired up for camp
Wednesday, we're out
Wednesday?
there.
Now do
Hot and
we?
muggy, Pat.
Well,
Hot.
we know.
It's a perfect day for camp.
Oh,
Hot
really?
and muggy out on the
But
practice fields.
but when do they put pads on?
A week from today, which is Monday.
Really?
They
So
can't.
they
They're,
can't put them on till Monday.
yes,
So
believe it or not, the union has done something for the players. Very little,
how
but
about
there's a ramp up period.
I was reading about the feud today. Did you that they've this guy that they brought in a couple of years ago, and Treader. Now, isn't he a former player?
Yes,
Treader,
former
wasn't he a
center
former player?
J.C. Treader,
And
who just
he's a
quit.
very hot button character, right? A lot of people hate him, but the story said that the committee that they had, this guy that just quit after 2 years because he had strip joints on his expenses from his previous,
Yeah, and
apparently.
various other things.
Yeah, and that the committee, Treader was quoted today because he poured his heart out to CBS Sports, was that they voted 10-1 for the other guy, the Rhodes Scholar guy, David White or something, and
Yes.
yet the players ended up voting for this guy. So, but that union has no chance because everybody always says, "Oh, baseball, they got a strong union, but they have some seniority. They have. If you get playing now, a lot of you are going to go home and play 1 or 2 years, but the trouble with football is, what's the average? Most of them don't make it 4 years, so they
And they need their
they
money. A
yeah, they
lot of
don't
them.
want to strike. They don't want to go. Don't want to walk. They need the money. So every time these guys uh, bribe them with something new, they just sign it, and they're not
Hmm.
never. They're going to never get guaranteed contracts with this union. Because to get guaranteed contracts, you'd have to sit a year, wouldn't you?
Oh, to get full? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
At
and
least a
they're
year.
not. And they're
No, they'll
not
never
gonna.
do that.
They're not gonna. They're never gonna get that. I mean, they. But baseball is everybody. These are not. Plus, baseball is dealing with 28 player rosters, but you're dealing with about 15 players, right? 15, 16.
Right.
Football, there's 60 of them, 70 of them now, and there's just too many guys. And now the big shots, the quarterbacks, and there's a lot of guys getting a lot of money right now. But
Hmm.
again, we don't know how much of it's guaranteed. But some of these, everybody's setting a new position record thing, right?
Sure.
So these guys got Jefferson cheap, right? As
Um,
it turned out.
I mean, it's a good deal for both sides.
Yeah.
Like
What do
he
you
did
end up
fine.
getting? What do you end up getting?
I'd have to look it up. But
Six.
the issue, to your point, though, if your guy, let's say 27 through 53 on the
Yes.
roster, you
Yeah.
need your paycheck.
Yes.
Like you
Because
don't
you're
have the
not going.
luxury of threatening. In baseball, guy 25 in baseball makes how much? The rostered player, a
Yeah.
million something,
Yes.
and it's all guaranteed.
Yeah, yeah, and it's guaranteed for everything you sign is guaranteed. So and
Yeah,
and now who else can hockey to some degree can like cut them if they
they could buy you out, but you
they
still
could
get
buy
a
they can
going
buy
away
you out. You
presence.
get a
Yeah.
hunk of money, but you don't get it all, right? They I mean, do they have the right to buy you out, or do you have to agree to it?
No, they have the right to.
They have the
They
right to.
they can buy you out, but that's also. I mean, in all of these cases, if you sign your contract beyond football, you're going to get your
Yeah.
money.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, of course, the NBA is really weird because you would think that there's a little dissension because you can have two 7-year veterans, and one guy's been pretty good, but the other guy's been like very good. And he's making 45 and you're making 1.1, or
Yes.
1.2 because, and looking for a job. So it's really, it's weird. It's weird. So, football though, I saw the guy had quit, and honest to God, I didn't even know D Morris had been replaced, and this guy had quit. And then I started reading up on him and how he got the job. They apparently didn't do any checking as to why he left the other place because it was
Yes.
expenses on the strip joints were put on the expense.
Yeah, he was basically renting car services and doing all of these things.
Yes, yeah, and, and so he just, just kind of a clown show. I remember when Ed Garvey was one of the. Did you know Ed? Did you ever
I
meet
didn't
him?
know him, but I
Great
remember him
guy,
from
great
his days in
character,
charge.
great character. He knew how to agitate people, but he could never. He gave him a union, but it was they could never break him. He could never get him. Allen was one of his big buddies. So and
Oh, Page was?
yeah, Allen was one of them. In fact, I've told you this, but I was standing at Gage Hall talking to Bud as he was walking someplace for 5 minutes. And that's when Allen and Ed Garvey came up they were going to have a meeting with the players upstairs. And I don't think Allen and Bud had been in the same room since the falling out because Bud looked over and says, "Oh, look who we got here." And then they kind of there was a very uncomfortable and I don't think they shook hands. It was a very uncomfortable, like
Really?
2 minutes. Yeah, still all those years later. Yes, that's why. Even though so many years had passed, I was surprised that Alan showed up for Bud's memorial at the Metrodome. I mean, at whatever the hell we could, the Ziggy Dome,
Right.
at the Ziggy Dome. I was surprised, but a lot of water over the bridge since then. So
Right.
but Alan did show up there. What did I read about Alan? He's like living in the woods, drawing pictures or something.
I saw
He's
some in the
become an
strip, right?
art. Yeah, he's become an artist, and he
Yeah.
likes the nature artist. And Diane died a number of years ago, and he's got some kids. But I guess he's become. I don't want to say he's become a hermit, but he's become a woodsman, and he likes to draw
You
pictures of
talk about a
birds.
guy that goes against football culture, right?
Oh God, yes, yes. Most boring speech in Hall of Fame history. The principal from North or someplace, the woman that gave the speech at him, he went into Canton at the same time as Lambert, maybe one of the Steelers.
Hmm.
So you got all those animals from Pittsburgh there in the audience at Canton. I was there for Allen. And she talked for 25 minutes about the importance of black education and what Alan's doing for them. And there was they wanted, I think it might have been the year two Steelers went in. I'm not
Oh, they
sure.
they wanted their
It might have been,
guys.
they did not want to hear about the importance of black education. They want to hear about the steel curtain
Right.
killing people,
We
you
kicked your
know.
ass in the Super Bowl.
Yes, right. They were. I'm not sure which. I think it was Lambert, but I'm not sure. There's one year the two of them went in together, but
Well, yeah, those teams sent a
oh
bunch of
God,
guys in, right? Steel
yeah,
curtain.
took a long time to get a couple of the receivers in, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Oh, that was the greatest football team ever because, Bradshaw for all his, honors and everything in TV.
Yep.
I don't think a quarterback ever had to do less to win than he did with that collection of players because they were fantastic.
His
They were-
early career stats, Bradshaw's, are
Oh,
hilarious. He wouldn't
okay.
have survived, like, he would have
No,
been benched immediately in
well, he was
subsequent eras.
he was Bobby Douglas for a while there, about 40%.
Yeah, and throwing nothing but picks.
Isn't that's one of the most amazing changes in sports. The the evil of an interception. Now he threw an
Yes.
interception back then,
Or missed field goal. Those two things.
or missed field
Fred
goal.
Cox
Yeah.
wouldn't have survived
Oh
today.
God, hell no. You know, it's 42 yards. I don't know if Fred can get it there or not. You know,
Like Dan Meyer, my guy Dan Meyer.
yeah, right,
He's missing
right.
28-yard chip
Yeah,
shots.
but the interception was Francis. What was his 30 some? His last season
Yeah,
there,
78. He was
78.
awful.
Yeah, it
Way too
was
many picks.
awful. But he'd throw two a game. You know, I mean not two a game, but he'd throw five a month for sure. Nobody. Yeah. Oh well, we'll have to go get the ball back, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, and Kraus set a record that will never be challenged because not only because the guys he had, the Purple People Eaters, but the fact that the interception has become obsolete almost. It's really
And
hard.
quarterbacks don't throw at guys like Kraus now. They throw away from like
Yes,
the
right.
intricacies that didn't exist in the
Oh God,
70s
yes,
into the
yes.
80s in football is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and I mean the whole idea of I know they never liked them to look at formations and stuff like that to go scout their practices. The other teams that come and scout their. Well, I was writing something on Mankato for tomorrow, and so the deal was that if you charged, then the other for a
Yeah.
while. So the Ziggy was going to start charging when he first got to Mankato,
Yep.
but then they realized there was no way to control
The Packers would come, the
the
Bears would come and
crowd
watch
down there.
them. Yeah.
Everybody could come and watch them, so he had to. And Chile was a little paranoid about that kind of stuff, I guess. So
Yes.
anyway, I was talking to Seaford last night. We were talking about Chile, one of the great transformations in history, nicest guy that ever lived now, and he actually was, you know, uh, '06. He was playing football. This is what I think a football coach should be like, right?
Right.
He was a
Belichick.
hard ass. Then he kind of softened up a little. Then he became the bad guy on the Moss thing, although the jackass on the Moss thing was Moss, but people don't want to admit that. They want to blame Childress for some reason for the falling out here. It
Yeah.
was that Moss was a jackass. That's why, because, he got he didn't get paid in New England, so he pouted his way out of there. And then they weren't going to pay him here, so he took off from here too. Did he ever play after he left here? He
Yeah.
went
Yeah. I
someplace
went to
real
the
quick.
Niners and then I think his last team was the Titans
Okay, they ever do? He didn't do anything though
or vice
after.
versa, but I mean, he didn't do
Mhm.
anything.
No,
No, once he was cooked, it was over.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, that was
That was that. Yeah. Yeah.
that Mankato though. I don't know this place. Did you see the rules today? I read the rules in today's Tribune. See, there's 1,000 bracelets for kids 17 and under,
Yep.
but you can only get one autograph with the bracelet. You got to get in a. They got a position players right there. There's like nine
Yeah.
linemen. Okay,
Yep.
nine offensive linemen, and the bracelet gets you in one. The way I read it is it gets you in one guy's line to get an autograph. But if your family wins the auction to get one of the five golden bracelets, you don't get to get autographs from everybody, but you get to pick which one of the players you
It's
want
like
to.
a golden ticket.
It's a golden
Willy
bracelet.
Wonka.
Yes, it is. The golden bracelet. Now, I'm sure they give most of this money to some Viking foundation or
Yeah.
something. I mean, they
No, I
can't
know they
be
do.
this chintzy
It's
that
a tax
they're
write off.
that they can't be this chintzy that they're doing that. But it's interesting. $10 to park if you do it online. $20 if you do it when you get here.
No kidding.
And I think it's like
Wow.
you don't need a. I guess you need a ticket on. You need a reservation, right? And there's
To get
seven
in?
thousand, 7,000
Yes.
to get in or something. There's all
Yes, you
kinds
can't
of.
just show up and walk in. You've
No.
got to get something that allows you in.
Now, you're not afraid. Is there any possibility
Mm-hmm.
that there'd be masked guys from ICE there waiting to see people walk from the parking lot. I mean, if you've visited Honduras in the last 5 years, I would be
There's
afraid to
masked
go.
guys from the Bears who are watching you. That's
Yes,
far more
right. That,
important.
but
I'm
they're
not worried about
pretending.
ice.
They're
Kevin O'Connell's
pretending
concerned
like
about the
they're
Bears.
pretending like they're from ICE, but they're the
Yes.
Bears.
And they're jotting
That
down
should be the new
formations and taking
thing.
videos.
Yes, right,
And that's what's
right.
going to cost us.
Who do we open with this year?
Bears.
Oh, it's
Monday night game.
down there or here?
Down there.
Down there. Ooh,
Yep. Soldier
okay.
Field.
So they got
Ben
Bears
Johnson.
fever with the new. They got Bears fever
They think
with
they're
the
going to be good.
quarterback and everything. The TV thinks they're going to be good.
Yep.
I think Williams is good, but I don't know how do they put. Did they put everything together since they had a lot of money to spend? I know. Did they?
They
Did they
spent a lot
spend
on
it
their
wise? Did
offensive
they
line.
spend it? Well, that's smart. That's what
Yeah,
we
which was
did too.
terrible.
That's what the Vikings did too. So
Hmm.
Vikings. Why do people? Why is the Vikings over and under like 8.5 or something?
Vegas
What?
doesn't love them. And the national
Just the
media.
quarter? Just the quarter? Just because of the quarterback?
I think so. Yep. Yep.
Uh,
I think they look at Love, they look at Caleb Williams, they look at
mm,
Goff,
yeah,
and McCarthy has no experience.
I know that, but the Vikings as a team
I
with
agree.
what they've done with the offensive line are better than they were last year, and they won 14.
And the defensive line, Pat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're right.
That's. I don't quite understand what the. I couldn't quite understand. Last year why it was so low. It was 6.5 last
Yep.
year or something like that. I mean, I couldn't, they had a bad year, but the quarterback they were playing guys off the street for quarterbacks. So, you know, hey, I got a big question here. How the hell did Kirk get on the quarterback show again? I didn't watch it, but why was he on again?
He must have agreed to it
Must,
before he got
must have
benched, but
volunteered, huh?
oh, I'm sure he did. He was, and his reputation, go back
Oh,
2 years.
changed immensely,
Now,
huh?
this has not done him because he got benched. I don't think this has done nearly as well to make him a likable character. But
No.
Kirk
And
loves
he
that
whined.
attention.
He whined in
Yeah.
about being benched and
Phil
stuff.
and Declan watched it. I said, I ain't watching that. I said,
I'm
I don't
not.
need to see him ever again.
No, I don't. I uh, I didn't give up on him until after they lost that first playoff game and came in and whined about that. And I said, okay, this guy. I don't like this guy. I don't
Well,
like. I don't. I turned on him right then. So
you
I
weren't
didn't.
wrong. You weren't wrong.
I
Hey,
don't know. I think I'm gonna have to continue my hot streak, though. I went to the last Viking game at the stadium, and yeah, going with you, it wasn't quite as bad as I did. I might have to go to a couple of games this year. The
I got a
that
parking pass
Vikings.
for you, so
All
I'll
right,
drive.
that's the way to go.
In
All right.
fact, hey Pat, speaking of
Speaking of
driving,
driving,
what should people drive to the Vikings games?
Jim Paul and Brett Paul SUV Buick SUV. I highly recommend the Invista. It's a smaller one. It'll fit in that parking spot, and the good backup camera too. You can be a backer upper with the Invista but right now they have an incredible stock. I told you I drove through the driveway drove through the parking lot a couple weeks ago to look at the inventory, and there's a lot of it. The SUVs, low interest rates, high volume, and high factory rebates. What more would you want? This is the time to get it. Late summer, the deals start getting better and better and better. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers out in Apple Valley and on Cedar Avenue. Just take Cedar out, take a right at 147th, I think, 140th, maybe something like that. But it's right there on the right. Easy to get to. Even with all the construction, it's easy to get to. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. Place to go for a deal for a Buick SUV.
Talk to you on Wednesday, sir.
All right,
See you,
sir. Bye bye.
Patrick.
Yep.